So thank you, Sophie and Vincent, for the invitation. I am very pleased to give this talk today about facial expression and lying. What I am presenting today is partly from my thesis work. Some things are published, others are not, and I will also rely on deception literature. So since we were children, Western culture has associated Pinocchio nose with lying. Moreover, faces are spontaneously evaluated according to their credibility, as with their shape, for instance. But today, I will be interested in dynamic features of the face, facial expression. And to respond to the following research question, what does science tell us about the belief we have about facial expression and lying? So I review studies on belief and lying using three methods: open question, closed question, and the correlational method, each of which sheds light on the belief in different ways. And also I only focus on facial cues. So the open question consists of asking a question to participants and collecting their answer freely. For example, Bogart and his colleagues and her colleagues ask participants, what do you think are good cues for detecting lies? So with such a methodology, I identify 7 studies were identified to respond to this question. It appears that facial expression, considered as a broad category, are often reported by participants, and that gaze aversion was the most specific reported facial cue. This means that facial cues come spontaneously to people's mind when lying is evoked, and that there are prevalent belief about deception. However, this method is limited because the cues are grouped in very broad categories, and therefore we don't have access to facial cues in a more precise way. It also requires that people know how to correctly describe facial cues by using words, which is far from being an easy task. The closed question method can overcome this limitation. Participants are asked to say whether facial cue is present during a lie. 16 studies using written questionnaire were found. In these studies, facial cues were overall associated with lying, such as pressed lips, leading us to assume that people associate the presence of facial movements with lying in a more general way. However, these studies have many limitations. First, it is difficult to describe many of the facial cues with words. Some words may be ambiguous to the participants, such as the word smile, for instance, when there are several types, which could impact the representation of participants. Finally, the use of words to study this belief may also explain the small number of cues studied when there are many other facial movements on the face. This led me to conduct a series of studies using photo of facial expression instead of words. I studied 54 facial cues issued from the facts, and the participants were asked to determine whether the cues were present during a lie. It appears that the majority of facial cues were not associated with lying by participants, such as stretching the lips, for instance. And when participants associate cues with lying, they considered them to be more present, such as the different eyes movement. This belief can be explained by associating stress with the lying behavior, which is consistent with theoretical explanation of about belief about deception. Considering of the facial cues studied, participants had an accuracy rate of their belief above chance. This can be explained by the fact that participants make many correct rejection, that is to say, considering that a facial cue is not relevant to spot a lie, leading us to have a much more correct belief than we can assume. In this methodology, participants make a conscious assessment of these cues and thus that do not indicate whether people actually use these cues to assess credibility. The correlational method tests this very point. Participants are asked to rate credibility of people who have been videotaped, and then researchers calculate correlation between the displayed facial cues and the participant response to study the link between the two. So with this methodology, 18 studies were found in which a majority of facial cues were not related to credibility. 4 cues were associated with lying, such as the evasive gaze. Thus, facial cues would not be so implicitly used to assess credibility by participants. However, this finding is based on a qualitative review. And to question this point in more detail, we can look at a meta-analysis by Hartwig and Bond. And they, among other things, they studied the relationships between facial cues and perceived deception. It appears that half of the facial cues studied were not related to perceived deception. The other half of the facial cues studied were associated with perceived deception, but they had very small effect size under that 0.03. This suggests that facial cues are, in fact, not widely used to detect deception by people, and perhaps contrary to what one might think. Results of the meta-analysis are just consistent with the data of the qualitative review I made. And more generally, Hartwig and Bond shows that erroneous beliefs were not the main factor explaining people's poor performance in spotting lies. So to finish, also facial cues come to mind spontaneously when deception is mentioned, and that people have very prevalent belief, in particular by associating facial cues of stress with lying, such as gaze aversion. It appears that on the whole, people do not associate a majority of facial cues with lying, suggesting that they actually have a better belief rate than we can think. And moreover, implicitly, people make little use of facial cues to identify lies. In some, there can be a discrepancy between the prevalent belief, explicit belief, and their implicit use. However, what does this result do not mean? In fact, they do not address people's use of pseudo-scientific claims about facial cues, for instance, since in this case, people, detectors are actively seeking cues to make their judgment, and is not an implicit use of the cues, then that is the question I addressed today. So thank you for your attention.